Well, I look down at the call screener, and there I see the name Ted Nugent. It's got to be the one, the only, Mr. Ted Nugent. How are you, Ted?
Greetings, Glenn, and a roaring freedom campfire salute to you, sir.
Where are you right now? You're on tour, are you not?
Yeah, we got this Shut Up and Jam record and tour going on. I'm blazing across America, having the time of my life, almost feeling guilty. It's so much fun.
You know, I have to tell you, when I grow up, I want to be Ted Nugent.
I don't know if you can. You better wear Kevlar underpants.
Yeah, I know.
Because this is serious business. No, I'm on the road nonstop, and it's the greatest tour of my life, Glenn. I got to tell you, 2014. This is 50-some years later. I'm going to do my 6,500th concert in Detroit this week. Are you kidding me? So, thank God, huh?
That's really amazing. Ted, I have to tell you, I mean, you know, I don't mean to be insulting here, but your music's so darn loud. It's just so loud. I was always a pop guy. You know, when I was growing up, everybody made fun of me because I was like, you know, hey, Barry Manilow, he's not so bad. And all of my friends were all Ted Nugent. My brother, I can't tell you how many times he would crank your music up in his room, and I would find the worst Barry Manilow song, and I'd crank it up in my room. We'd have the battle. He would use you to torture me, and yet.
That's a testimony to the ferocity, the ferocity and the gifts of my bandmates. I mean, I've always been surrounded by, you know, really rhythm and blues and soulful music lovers and just virtuosos beyond description. So there's an energy and an attitude and a spirit that is not for your average unsuspecting civilian.
No, and you know what? I don't even know if I have to go to one of your concerts. Because I absolutely have to. But I think the only reason why I never liked your music is because he liked it, and we were just brothers. You know what I mean?
That would have to be the reason, because you love soul music.
I do.
You love heart and soul, being the best that you can be, tight, energetic, authoritative music. I know you do. I know you love my band.
I do.
Yep.
So, all right. So, Ted, my suggestion today. Nancy Pelosi said that she would like to take all of the illegal immigrants home with her, and I suggested that she could do that.
I would love that.
And my suggestion today has been, because John Lewis has come out and said, "This is America. We are open, and our doors are open." They are inviting more in. They are now shipping these illegals all over the country.
I know.
They are shipping them into our cities. In my town of about, honestly, what is it, 50,000 in my town?
Oh,
maybe 100,000. There's 2,000 that have already been shipped into our town. It is going to change our towns, and not the makeup of the race or anything else, but it is going to be a drain on our services. It's going to be a drain on our schools. It's going to change fundamentally our schools, our hospitals. Everything is changing. We're not even having a debate about this. My suggestion today is all of these people, like John Lewis, let's send them to his district. Let's send them to New York City. Let's send them to San Francisco. Let's send them not to Nancy Pelosi's area, but her town where her family lives. Because I guarantee you, the minute we say, you guys know something that we don't know, we can't make the math work on this. You guys all seem to say it's not going to be a problem, so you model it. You show us in your own towns how this works. And I guarantee you they would never do it. Ever.
Well, the liberal mantra is all about a deep, soulless dishonesty. They have a scam going here. I believe this whole thing is part of an orchestrated fundamental transformation, if you will, and I write about it every week at WND.com, and I write in Newsmax. I try to stay on top of this kind of stuff. It is a tragedy, but the reason you and I are uniting like so many millions of Americans right now is because these kids are innocent. I think their parents should all be tracked down and arrested, because subjecting their children to this tragedy and this dangerous, illegal event. I want to make it perfectly clear, because I've experienced what you've experienced. People with a heart and soul know that these kids have to be taken care of, but we also have to send them back.
Okay.
They are here illegally. We need to send them back, secure our borders, and enforce the law. But
Harry Reid Harry Reid says that that our border is secure. At the same time, he was asking for $4 billion for this humanitarian crisis. He actually stood yesterday and said there is no border crisis. Our borders are secure.
I know, he's from Planet of the Apes. I mean, he's the cuckoo's nest. He's Rod Serling's illegitimate son. He is the Twilight Zone man. These people have perfected the Saul Alinsky, Joseph Goebbels propaganda lying scheme. They lie, they lie, they lie. This guy, Harry Reid and Pelosi, these people are dangerous, America-hating, freedom-hating freaks. And that's another situation we have to deal with. And we, the people, I got to tell you, Glenn, I've played, 30 concerts already in 30 different cities, and I'm going to play 40 or 50 more. And I meet with families every day, heroes of the military and their families, cops and teachers and farmers and electricians, and working hard, playing hard America, who dedicate themselves to be in the asset column of their family, neighborhood, and country. They are heartbroken at the lies and the scams of this president and his administration. But I think what you're doing is and what I'm trying to help with our Hunters for the Hungry venison, helping out here, is that the kids are innocent and they need to be taken care of before we send them home.
Okay, so here's the thing, because and I didn't know if this had come through or not. I got a note from you yesterday or the day before that said that you had a lot of venison that you wanted to donate for the kids down on the border. Tell me about it.
Well, there's been a hidden secret that the media has made certain remains hidden for 26 years, Glenn. It's called Hunters for the Hungry, where we we harvest the surplus deer, as is the sustained yield wildlife management model. Thanksgiving is during the end of the hunting season. Hello! And we literally, we butcher, we process, and we cook and distribute 250 million hot meals of pure, nutritious, low-fat, low-cholesterol, wild, organic venison. 250 million meals a year, Glenn, through our Hunters for the Hungry program.
Okay, all right. Hang on, stop there. Attention, Blaze. I want somebody to do this story, and I want video on this story. That's one of the most staggering facts I've ever heard that I've never heard.
26 years, Glenn.
That's crazy.
Meals a year.
That is absolutely crazy that's not out there. Ted, we will help correct that.
That's the propaganda ministry that hates me, hates hunters, hates freedom, hates private property rights. We have so many deer in this country, more than ever in recorded history. Hell, there's more than ever in recorded history in my freezer. I have many sharp sticks. When I'm not making really loud, obnoxious rock and roll to scare Glenn Beck, I'm in a tree with a sharp stick getting protein. And so what we're doing is I've got my Uncle Ted protein soldiers on standby down in Texas, and we will bring down the most wonderful, healthy protein, wild game venison, the ultimate burgers and goulash and spaghetti and scrapple. We will feed these kids like we do to our fellow Americans 250 million meals a year. It's awesome.
So, Ted, let me first of all say thank you. Let me ask you to explain, because there's a lot of people in America that are justifiably angry. I am. You are. Every American should be. Left, right, center. It doesn't matter. We are seeing something we have never seen before in the history of America. And it's a you make your own decision, whether it is planned or not planned. It is a humanitarian crisis that is so easily avoidable. And we are now having the argument of whether or not we should donate. This audience has now donated over $2 million to go
Not
to.
Surprised at all.
It's amazing. You're not going to see that in the New York Times. Nobody's going to talk about that. What was it? The Village Voice or Rolling Stone, or which was it this morning? I heard one of those magazines said
Mother Jones.
Mother Jones. you may not like Glenn Beck, but what he's doing is really important. But here's other people who are doing it. They were trying to teach love through divisiveness still. But I mean, at least they were saying, hey, we got to take care of these kids.
Well, Glenn, I got to tell you, I've been dealing with these hateful monsters, these liberal, stoned, goofball haters all my life. I mean, if you check out the attacks on my family, I mean, they have thousands of articles how I am a pedophile after I celebrate my 25th year of the Ted Nugent Camp for Kids charities, where families bring their children to learn about conservation and being clean and sober and how to aim small, miss small, both in marksmanship and archery and in life. Yet the Huffington Post has article after article how I am a pedophile. They use the word pedophile. That is Joseph Goebbels, Saul Alinsky in spades. But you know what? Sometimes you give the world the best you got and you get kicked in the teeth. Give the world the best you got anyway. So that's what we're doing.
Okay, can I ask you a tough question here, Ted?
I'm ready to rock.
Because I have so much respect for you. I really love you. I had an argument with somebody it was on vacation, and somebody said, well, you know who really ratchets things up is Ted Nugent. And I said, let me tell you something. Before you take another stab, let me tell you something about Ted Nugent. He is one of the most honest, decent, caring, charitable, talented, brilliant men I have ever met. I really, truly believe that you are in the category of a founding father. You had to be brilliant. You had to be deeply charitable to be a founding father. You had to be decent. You had to be able to look at all sides. And that's who you are. I've met very few people I have as much respect for as I do you. However,
right. Well, thank you.
Let me say this. You have, and expertly so, you have rattled off more names and name calling than, and again, like an artist. And I know how you feel, but let me play devil's advocate. How do we express ourselves? Because if there's name calling is for nincompoops, and I know because I'm just saying that now. You are so well spoken and so well read. Do you ever think that calling people names hurts the argument?
You know,
I'm not asking this in an accusational tone. I'm trying to wrestle this with myself.
Well, first of all, yeah, I think the answer is yes. But most of the time, in the arenas in which I have the dialogue and the debate, it is a volatile arena. It is usually a camera in an environment where I have just dealt with a family whose door's been kicked down, whose farm has been shut down, who have been bankrupt by the EPA or the USDA or the FDA or someone because they claim there was a wetland on their family farm for 100 years where there was never any moisture, but they've been destroyed and devastated. And I am so passionate about we the people versus the abuse of power and the criminality of our government that would call a soldier of Allah, Allah Akbar, murdering of our fellow soldiers at Fort Hood, an episode of workplace violence that sometimes my Detroit street slang surfaces to the intensity of the moment. Now, when I'm on Glenn Beck's show, as I have displayed numerous times, and when I'm in the media 97 to 98% of the time, I think I come off rather eloquent.
No, you do. You are.
Go Tango. But you understand, I'm a street fighter.
I know that.
Glenn, let me ultimately explain why I use certain terms. Have you ever seen the live documentary of 9/11 where the French documentary team captured the heroes running up those stairs with fire?
Yes.
Did you hear every third word was an MF expletive?
Yes.
If it's good enough for heroes charging into flames to save innocent lives, it's good enough for a guitar player when attacking the abuse of power and the criminality of a government who wants to fundamentally transform, i.e. destroy the last best place.
I just want to say to you, Ted, I agree with almost 100% of the things that you say, and I've heard you say. I cheer when you are on because I know you eviscerate the other side because you are coming to the table with more brain power and more facts than most of these journalists have seen in the entire newsroom. And I cheer,
that?
but
Yes.
I am like you. I am. We're coming to a crossroads here, and I'm just trying to myself do soul searching on how do we bring people together? How do we stop? How do we stop this? Because we're just going farther and farther and farther apart, and nobody's even listening to each other anymore, and we're starting to argue over math.
Well, Glenn, if I may, I'm a gregarious chap. I'm running around the world meeting with people from every imaginable walk of life. I write these articles for these different blog sites, and I try to bring the pulse of that great, great positive spirit, the good, productive families of this country to the forefront, as do you, and we salute you for that. I still believe, that's the title of a song on my new record, and the lyric claim that I think that the producers, the people who still have alarm clocks and know how to set them, truly outnumber those who have been brainwashed to take instead of give. I really believe that the soul and spirit of being the best that you can be, being as productive as possible, striving and settling for nothing less than excellence in everything you do, Glenn, it's ubiquitous across this country. I get to hang with soldiers and sailors and airmen and Marines who have given up their legs and their arms and their eyes and their skin every day at my concert. So when I get on that stage, I'm singing love songs, but sometimes love manifests itself in a very passionate and street-savvy articulation. And so I'm learning. I'm learning to temper when the tempering needs to be tempered.
Ted, I love you, I respect you, and I can't thank you enough for your donation. And please, please know that we will get them. I want to know more about what you and the Hunters are doing. I think this is one of the most incredible stories. I thank you for it, and we will deliver it this
Glenn, I'm proud to stand shoulder to shoulder with you. I just have Jeremy get with me, and if there's a specific church or a specific soup kitchen or shelter that we can bring this unbelievable pure venison, we're ready to rock. I got my soldiers on standby.
Thank you.
Loaded with meat.
Ted Nugent, thank you very much. God bless you, man. Best of luck on tour. Is there anybody, honestly, I mean this sincerely, is there anybody that is a bigger defender of freedom who is more articulate and fun to listen to than Ted Nugent? Is there anybody? Can you think of anybody who is that entertaining and that smart? I mean, besides,
other than us.
Okay, yeah. Besides the three of us.
Yeah.
Three, Jeffy. The three of us.
I heard your mistake. It's okay.
No, he's fantastic.
I'm always amazed by him as how quick he is. Like, I mean, the guy could just go and he doesn't seem to make any mistakes.
Never any drugs. Never any drugs in his system. That's what I think that is.
That is, I mean, it does help.
Jeffy, we're talking about Ted Nugent.
I don't believe it. That's not possible for anyone to live like that.
Especially in that world of rock and roll. It's amazing.
Oh, my gosh. Yeah.
But he's famous for that.
He's one of the, I mean, I can't remember who I was having this discussion with on vacation, but somebody had said something about Ted Nugent, and it wasn't really disparaging. You know, he's just a bad man. They were saying, you know, I don't know, Ted just gets rolling and it's great, and then he just gets so divisive. And I literally stopped. We were walking someplace, and I literally stopped and I said, you don't know Ted Nugent. You don't know Ted Nugent. I think Ted Nugent is truly one of the most honest and authentic guys in America. There's no show to him per se. He is who he is off air and on air. He's exactly the same guy. And he is also one of the more compassionate guys. I remember what it was. We were talking about conservation. I was up in the mountains and I was talking to somebody, and we were talking about conservation and wildlife protection. And I said, you know who one of the biggest guys on this is Ted Nugent. I said, we were talking about, I have erosion happening on the ranch, or, I don't even know what I'm talking about. But I'm like, is that bad? I said I should call Ted Nugent because he would know. And they're like, Ted Nugent? And I'm like, oh, no. He's one of the biggest environmentalists out there. He's just not on Al Gore's side. But there's nobody that is more caring about animals, even though he's a hunter, more caring about animals, more caring about the environment than Ted Nugent. We just don't know him.
The other thing, too, about Ted is, the charity thing he mentioned is just one of so many things he does. Every time you talk to him or we hear about him, if he's unavailable, that's what he's doing. He's doing charity work for somebody and it's not publicized. The guy is constantly, he's got to be one of the most charitable guys I've ever met in my life.
Yeah, I mean it when I say when I grow up, but I think I have to actually grow down. I think I have to be more, I think you have to be more comfortable in your skin to be more like Ted Nugent. I think you just have to be somebody who has thought it all through, and you know exactly who you are. You know exactly the role you play in the world, that you are a servant of your fellow man, and you're just comfortable in your skin. I mean, I think you have to. I mean, as we get older, we get more uptight and more closed-minded. I think that guy does more homework, more reading than I put him next to any university scholar, any of them.
Well, and you see, he does occasionally go into hostile ground and do interviews and such, and he doesn't have problems with them.
Never.
It's
never.
Not he just is
just total recall.
It's easy for him.
Just total recall.
And that probably does have something to do with not doing drugs, and he doesn't drink at all either, right?
I don't think he does.
I don't know. Could be. I don't know on that one, but and he's been famous for that. I mean, for being substance free largely, with in the middle of a rock and roll career.
You're such a big fan of his, Pat. Haven't you always been a big fan of his music?
Yeah,
such a big fan of his. I honestly, I have only heard his music through my brother's The Bedroom Wall. That's the only way I've heard it. And I think, would I like his music?
No.
I wouldn't.
No,
I really want to go to his concert because I bet it's wildly entertaining. I bet he is just so great. And I bet his band is, I've not heard any of his music except for, but I bet his band is unbelievably tight. Because watching him, he's come on the set and he's just played the guitar. I mean, that guy he's remarkable.
I mean, not as tight as Barry Manilow.
No,
I'm not using, come on.
No one is.
I mean, come on.
None of us can be.
You would know.
I'm throwing a jingle singer up against this guy. I know that. You
would know the Damn Yankees music.
Oh yeah.
Which we played on the air.
Yeah, I love Damn Yankees.
Yeah, he was in that band, obviously.
Not that now that I'm in Texas, not that I like Yankees. I want to make that Damn Yankees. That's the way I mean it when I say that.
That was convincing. We'll talk about authentic. Glenn Beck.
Mm-hmm.
Really, when you get in this world where you're talking about rock music and
sports
is another anything manly.
Southern traditions.
You are just
right at
hunting. You name it. I'm there. I am. I have blood underneath my fingernails right now. Yankee blood. Mm-hmm. Yankee blood under my fingernails right now.
That's a strawberry syrup.
Is that what that is?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. When I was up on vacation. I'm up on the ranch. And I swear I could not get my fingernails clean. And I'm like, I can't, I have dirt under my fingernails. I can't get the dirt from out underneath my fingernails. I thought, I've never done an honest day's work in my life. I was confused. I woke up one day and I'm like, I have dirt under my fingernail. I felt like King Louis or something. I'm like, I've got some black growth under my fingernails. Dear God, what is happening to me? I'm starting to rot at the fingernail line. Now it's just work. Huh. Never saw that one coming. I didn't know that happened. Didn't know that happened.